People that are really talented are not afraid of obstacles. When Netflix went to streaming and started taking over the world, were they the only company that did it? Jeff Bezos and Amazon said, no, get me into that game. Get me into that game, Amazon Prime. Disney said, let's go buy Hulu. Get us into that game. The great ones aren't afraid of obstacles as long as they have weapons. And that's why Amazon Prime and Paramount and Hulu and Peacock, they're all spending big money to get the right actors and the right directors and the right producers. If you're afraid of great competition, if you're afraid of Netflix, you're not great. The great brains, the great business models, they just want the ammunition, and they'll pay for it. Colin, Russell Wilson, going to that division, scary. Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers playing in that crappy division's really helped him out in the playoffs, hasn't it? You want to play in a Power 5 conference? The SEC doesn't seem to hurt their teams. They all win the national championships every other year. Let's talk about what a tough division he joined. It's funny, Matt Stafford went to the Rams, a significantly tougher division, and won a Super Bowl. Didn't hurt his career much, did it? Let's look at the AFC West. Ooh, the Raiders. Last 19 years, 2 playoff appearances, lost both. Dysfunctional even last year. Poorest owner in the NFL. Last year, narrow wins over average teams, but they beat the Colts, who, because they lost to the Jags, didn't make the playoffs. That's a big obstacle. What about the Chargers? Oh, yeah, their head coach, Brandon Staley, has 5 total years in his life coaching in the NFL. They, in the last 12 years, have won 10 or more games once. And when have we ever thought the Super Bowl goes through the Chargers? Haven't they always been talented but let us down? They're not a big clutch organization. They're just talented. They were talented with Dan Fouts. They were talented with Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson, and they're talented with Justin Herbert. But they never rise in the moment like the Baltimores of our life. They shrink. And then there's Kansas City. Yes, smartly coached, smartly run, smartly owned. Patrick Mahomes. A very worthy adversary. No bad words here. Yeah, Russell had 2 of those in his division. It was called McVay and Shanahan. And he won the division 4 times and made the playoffs 8 times in 10 years. And that includes the first 2 years when he really wasn't Russell Wilson. He was like the game manager with a great defense. So you're going to tell me going to a offensive coach, better defense, better O-line, more weapons, legit star potential running back, he's going to regress. The NFL playoffs have expanded to 14 teams, 7 in each division. Last year, Jalen Hurts made the playoffs. The Raiders were in utter chaos all year. Negative point differential. The Raiders had a negative point differential, and they made the playoffs. 14 teams in, best division win every quarterback, and you think Russell Wilson's not going to make the playoffs? Okay, yeah. Because, Matt Stafford joined the toughest division in football and won a Super Bowl. And the year before, Tom Brady, from a wild card position, won the Super Bowl if they have to finish second to the Chiefs, which is very possible. Like, they're great. Nobody is saying the Chiefs aren't great. Brady 2 years ago won a Super Bowl. Well, that division, Colin, that division had the Saints, who when Tom entered it with Sean Payton and Breeze, were a Super Bowl bubble team. And the Falcons, what about the Falcons? Certainly better than the Raiders the last 6 years. They got to a Super Bowl. Led a Super Bowl. Raiders done that in the last 19 years? Folks, the great ones aren't afraid of competition. Jeff Bezos saw what Netflix did and said, let me at him. That's what the great ones do. Brady, just give me weapons. I don't care if I lose Belichick. Give me better receivers. Matt Stafford, I don't care if I go to a tougher division and face Shanahan and Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray. Give me weapons. The great ones want weapons. They don't lose any sleep over obstacles. That's what self-confidence, true inner confidence is all about. Russell's going to crush. So let's talk about Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot of different ways to get to the big game. College football has 130 Division I programs, and the Cincinnati Bearcats ended up in the playoff. How? They play in a weaker conference, a non-Power 5, and they won one big circle game on their schedule, Notre Dame. They had that puppy circled for 3 years. Notre Dame did not have Cincinnati circled, believe it or not. And they got to the playoff. Now, when they faced Alabama, they couldn't move the ball. That was not a big shock. But they got into the playoffs because they had a very easy path compared to a Georgia, compared to an Alabama, or a Big Ten school. The NFC North is an absolute mess. But this morning, I still think Green Bay has a decent shot, 10-1 odds to the Super Bowl. Chicago's in a rebuild. They have a rookie defensive head coach and a second-year quarterback. Detroit's got a goofy coach who we kind of like, but he's goofy, and an average quarterback. And Minnesota has a rookie coach and an average quarterback. Outside of the Rams, who would the Packers face in the playoffs next year in the NFC that they'd be an underdog to? And who says they would have to face the Rams getting to the NFC? The safest bet in the NFL next year is Green Bay gets a bye and wins their division. They probably don't face the Rams until the NFC Championship, and they'll face them at home. I don't think Green Bay's great. I don't think Aaron wanted any part of Mahomes, Herbert, Carr. I think Russell Wilson's built differently than Aaron Rodgers. But the Packers the last couple of years, Colin, they've been the number 1 seed. So what? Both years, their defense ranked 13th. Wasn't even a top 10 defense. Last year, there was only one team that won a division that had a worse point differential than Green Bay. They weren't blowing out teams this year. They were getting by teams this year. They only had 3 Pro Bowlers this year. It's not a loaded roster. It doesn't have to be. Either did Cincinnati. You play in a weaker division. You have 1 or 2 big circle games. Anybody on Sunday can beat anybody. The Jags beat the Bills. The Jags beat the Colts. Anybody can beat anybody. Like the Cincinnati Bearcats. You play in an easier conference. You have fewer obstacles. There is one NFC team the Packers would face today and be an underdog. Aaron Rodgers is odd, a little weird for my taste and needy. He's not dumb. He's not dumb. It's an easy place, the easiest division, the most dysfunctional division by a mile. I think Aaron's more about the money and comfort. I think Russell's truly about winning and challenging himself. But in both instances, Packers 10-1, Broncos 14-1, according to FanDuel today, to win the Super Bowl. They're both probably really good bets for different reasons, but both really good bets. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.